Hello everyone, another story time. Yeah, another story time. Anyway, okay, trying to be serious now. It happened. Yeah, um, high school years. Hello. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so yeah, high school years. When I was back home. Okay, full memory. That story is about a professor. I mean, a teacher. I think you say high school teacher who cried in the classroom in front of us. So the story, what happened, why that teacher burst into tears in the classroom. We had a professor who was from another country because, as I told you in my other video, my country was was making contract with some professor of other countries to come to teach in my country, in some high schools. And that professor happened to be an expatriate. He was from another African country. We had expatriates from different countries: France, Senegal, Benin, Togo. We have different countries coming to teach to high schools back home. But that particular professor, I mean, high school teacher, didn't know how to handle my classroom, I guess. I don't know. And probably was a new professor. I don't know. It was our chemistry professor, teacher, high school teacher. And he had an accent. Honestly, he had an accent. And I think for many in the classroom, people couldn't really understood him well. You know, sometimes people can have accent. Like me, for example, when I speak English, I have an accent, and probably people cannot be understanding what I say. It has nothing racist or nothing xenophobia in it. You can have people who have accent that you cannot easily understand, and that has nothing. Even me, I'm very aware of that. That people can might not be able to understand what I say because of my accent, and that was his situation. And you know, for example, me, for instance, I have difficulty understanding people who speak English with Indian accent. The Indian accent is very difficult for me to, to catch. I don't know why. I can put video, listen. I had a professor who was from India, and I'm telling you, I had problem to really understand when she was teaching. Not that it has something racist, no. It just happened that your ears do not connect with some accents. And that professor had situation like that. So students in my classroom were like, we cannot do, because that day you were supposed to have a quiz or an exam, I think, a test exam in chemistry. And people were not ready, the students were not ready. Yeah, we are supposed to be ready, but if the class wasn't well understood, we couldn't take the class. And then what happened is the teacher, I mean, professor, teacher, you understand what I mean, was insisting that he will do the exam anyway. So the day when he came to the classroom, I mean, as he was coming, to the classroom, the student locked the door. They locked the door. So he was on the other side of the door. And then he was insisting to open the door. And the student told him, sir, do not enter the classroom because you're not ready. Okay? You cannot enter the classroom. You're not ready for the exam today. Do not enter. So he insisted, to open the door. So what happened is like the children were like, no, do not enter. You're not ready. We don't want you to come today to the class. You cannot teach. You cannot. You cannot make that exam today, and you cannot teach today. You cannot enter and you cannot teach today. It's impossible. Okay, you cannot give us that exam. It's not possible. So he was insisting and, pulling the door and, pushing the door. At some point, the student say, okay, since you insist, then you don't open the door for you. And they open the door. What happened? He entered the classroom. He went to sit with his parents. Students were like, no, we are going to do the mess. We are going to make this place impossible to teach. I remember that very much. They start singing, dancing in the classroom, making noise, dancing every kind of dances, to the point where one student came to him and even grabbed his hand to make him dance. The professor was like, what's going on with you? It was in high school. What's wrong with you? Why do you do that to me? And the student was still dancing in front of him. It was just like, it was impossible for him to say a word because it was noisy and they were dancing in the classroom and making fun of him, imitating his accent. I mean, that became really not good to. What happened is he had enough of the situation because he couldn't handle that. So he left the classroom. He went to the other side where the principal at the office of the principal of the high school. So 4 students follow him, they follow him, they follow him. When they went to the principal office, he knocked at the door. And he entered the office. The student also knocked at the door and they entered the office as well.